Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of the MCR. Mac and me. My name's TJ, and Mac has a very important announcement to make.
Well, I don't know how important it is, but it might be of interest to some folks. This is our 800th video, and we want to throw out a thanks to our longtime viewers and our new viewers, everyone of the 1,066 subscribers we have. If you're new, like, share, and subscribe. And we just, like I said, I want to thank you. 800 is a lot of videos. When we started a little over 5 years ago, we could have never imagined having done this many. So we're going to keep them coming to you.
Okay. On to the topic, on to the segment. About a week ago, a little bit of Michigan news and politics, but about a little over a week ago, we had a situation in Dearborn, and Dearborn has significantly grown in its Arab ethnicity, its population. And in fact, they may have a mayor of Mideastern descent. His name is Abdullah Hamoud. Okay.
Pretty good bet.
Yeah, pretty good bet. Sharing that with everyone. The Detroit metropolitan area has quite an assortment of Middle Eastern ethnicities. In Hazel Park and some of the northern suburbs of Detroit, you have a heavy Chaldean community. In the northern metropolitan area of Detroit, Southfield, Oak Park, Bloomfield Hills, some of the more well-to-do. You have quite a heavy Jewish ethnicity, a lot of Jewish, what do they call them, tabernacles or something? But throughout the area.
Synagogues.
Synagogues. Okay, there you go. Synagogues. Just a very heavy Jewish community. Well, Dearborn has, they have their own ethnicity too. About a year or so ago, I was driving through Hamtramck. Hamtramck, a long time ago, used to be referred to as Pole Town, and Hamtramck is a small city within the city of Detroit. And as I was driving through Hamtramck for about 2 blocks, it didn't even look like I was in the United States. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say it looked like a third world country, but I saw very little in English, you know. And I was struck at how Hamtramck, which once used to be a Polish kind of like an enclave there, community. It's been replaced by Middle Eastern ethnicity of some sort. Ford used to have a plant nearby. They closed it up, and once Ford closed up the plant, as the older generation passed away, the children and grandchildren, not wanting to put up with the idiocy of Detroit anyways, just by being within the city, they just kind of got the hell out of Dodge and relocated to suburbs. It's a story of any major city, where people get out of the city and the suburbs grow. Yeah,
I'd like to point out something for those who don't know. When it was referred to as Pole Town because of its heavily Polish area, a lot of signs were in Polish as well.
Yeah. So in explaining all that, I just kind of wanted to set the table for the situation in Dearborn. Okay. And about a week ago, there was a rally being held in Dearborn, and the purpose of the rally was, let's just say pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel, and it turned into anti-America because the U.S. supports Israel. So if Israel's the bad guy, and you're guilt by association, so must the U.S. And the organizer, a guy by the name of Tarek Bazzi, Bazzi, he he made a little speech, and in one of his pauses in the speech, a person from the crowd, someone in attendance, they did not know who, they may not know who, but someone began to chant in Arabic, "Death to America." And when you watch the video, you can hear it being said at least 3 times. Okay, so you've got a suburb of Detroit in the metropolitan area having a rally. Oh, and once he started chanting the "Death to America," uh, people would repeat it. Like one person, "Death to America." Then you hear the crowd repeating it, and he'd say it
Well,
again. You
not
know what I'm
only do
saying?
they not only do they think it and agree with it, they it's like a mob thing.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
exactly.
here's the you have countries that are a Muslim theocracy like Iran, uh, but the United States is not that. So feel free to, and I'm going to use some bad language here. Feel free to get the fuck out. No one's keeping you here. You can't leave Iran anytime you feel like it, but you can leave the United States, and I encourage them to do that.
This story just doesn't want to end though. Greg Gutfeld from Fox News, he was talking about it, and he sarcastically made the comment that this could become our own little Gaza. Okay, and I have heard stories in the past where enclaves of Mideastern ethnicities, they pretty much have their own law, and
Right.
and the police are hesitant to intervene.
Yeah, well, in other countries, like in France, they call them no-go zones.
Yeah. Uh, so that just becomes more entrenched. A Fox News reporter by the name of Hillary Vaughn confronted Rashida Tlaib, and I'll confess this: I don't know exactly the boundaries of her district, but it's being reported that Rashida Tlaib's district includes that part of Dearborn,
Yeah,
and
I believe it's part of Dearborn and part of the city of Detroit.
this particular event happened on Michigan, which I've traveled quite a bit, you know, and get a load of this. Let's see if I have it written down here. It was on Michigan Avenue in front of, get a load of this, in front of the Henry Ford Centennial Library, you
I'm
know,
familiar with that library. I've been
and
in it.
and it's called Henry Ford Centennial Library because Henry Ford he was so key in the development of Dearborn in the early years.
Well, as Jefferson's Starship would say, he built that city.
For something to happen, it's bad enough that it's happening in the U.S., but in front of I'll call it a landmark facility, really.
Right.
But when the Fox News reporter called out Rashida Tlaib, her response was she doesn't talk to Fox News because they're racists. So that was
Yeah,
Rashida Tlaib's
death to
response.
America, death to Jews. That's not at all racist.
And as I wrap up my comments here, the the Biden administration and the Democrats, they're in quite the balancing act right now.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
if it wasn't for the electoral anomalies in Wayne County, which by the way, even though Dearborn, Detroit, it was Wayne County. Okay, so so given the electoral anomalies in 2020 in Wayne County, uh, and whether or not they're able to duplicate those electoral anomalies this year, uh, Michigan's in the balance, and if and if the Democrats don't play their cards right, it's hard to predict what exactly some of these Middle Eastern ethnicities how they will respond.
Well, these people vote, and I'm guessing based by the demographic of Wayne County that they're Democrats. So it really Democrats are chanting "Death to America."
Yeah, for sure. Uh, but and that's part of the problem. The Democrats and the Biden administration have is, and here's the thing: if they don't support Israel, then you've got the Jewish community to the north in Southfield and Bloomfield and Bloomfield Hills, that area.
Yeah, here's the problem though. That's Oakland County, and it's been voting Democrat for the last 30 years.
And you're absolutely right about that. But this is an intangible that might change that.
Sure could.
Given what happened last year, October 7th. Okay.
But one of the problems also is you won't hear them chanting it. The vast majority, I would tell you, of Jews vote Democrat.
Yeah.
So it's another case of, as I said in the previous video, it's a matter of people getting what they vote for.
There's a whole lot of truth to that. Well, this this is one of those things that'll make this electoral season a little bit more interesting. Okay, right. To say the least. It just sucks that this is happening so close to home, so close to my home.
It's a distance for me, but like I said, you fellows might want to stay where the hell you're at. Don't come out here.
So, all right. We'll call this one a wrap. Thanks, everyone, for your support, and we'll see you in the 801st video. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me. Almost forgot that.